I used to think getting in shape was just about training harder and eating cleaner. And technically, yeah, it is. Your body changes on how you move and what you eat. But if you've ever tried to make progress while working 60-hour weeks and you keep falling back into the same habits, it's not because you don't know what to do. It's because of the stories you keep telling yourself. And I know that sounds fluffy and mindset-y, but hear me out. Those quiet thoughts that live in the back of your head, they're the ones that decide whether you follow through or fall off again. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the 4 lies I told myself that kept me stuck and what actually changes when you stop believing them. Lie number 1, work's too busy, I don't have time. This one's the most common. You tell yourself once the rota calms down, once we're out of this busy period, once I've got a bit more time, then I'll start. But the truth is, in hospitality, that perfect time never comes. There's always another event, another busy period, another double shift. And I used to live in that trap, thinking that I just needed more calm. Or not even calm, just less chaos before I could actually start something. But here's what I've realised. If your fitness plan only works when life is quiet and calm, it won't work when life gets hard. And your job is hard. That's the whole point. Progress doesn't come from waiting for the chaos to stop. It comes from learning to operate inside the chaos. Like Rick, he started with me during the height of the summer rush. And he thought aiming for 2 sessions a week was completely pointless, like not enough to make a difference. But then 8 weeks and a Rosette star later, he dropped 5 kilos and doubled his strength in the gym during literally one of the busiest times of his year. So if you can make progress during your busiest season, then you've built a system that is going to last forever and you'll be able to stay in shape for life. So instead of waiting for more time or less busy, just build around it. Start with 20-minute sessions or a 2 exercise workout plan. Make it impossible not to do. That's how you take back control. Lie number 2, healthy eating is too restrictive. This one sounds reasonable, right? You work around food all day, you probably love food more than most, which is why you even do what you do in the first place. So you don't want to live off chicken, rice, and misery. You want freedom, you want flexibility. You don't want to overthink every single meal. But here's the paradox that nobody really talks about. Real freedom with what you eat doesn't just come from eating whatever you want. It comes from knowing exactly how to eat without guilt. When you've built enough structure to understand your food, to know what actually fuels you, that's when you can relax around it. The discipline creates freedom. When you learn to build balanced meals without tracking, or swap your go-to staff meal for something that makes you feel good and feel human, you realize that restriction isn't the problem. Confusion is the problem. Because when you're constantly guessing about what to eat and what's going to make you feel good, you're always going to be stressed about whether you're doing it right. So having some structure removes that stress. That's when it stops being a battle. And my client Scott is a perfect example of this. He always used to struggle with staff meals. As head chef, he'd always prioritize everyone else and make sure they had good staff food and he'd just have whatever was left. But once I showed him the importance of having more protein and fueling himself properly, we built him a few staple staff meal swaps, and that changed the game for him. Having a bit more structure, it didn't back him into a corner. It gave him permission to stop stressing about everything. Just like a good prep list, it doesn't limit your creativity. It keeps things organized so you can actually focus on what you need to focus on. Lie number 3, I'll start again on Monday. This one used to get me every time. Friday rolls round, you've had a long week, it's been chaos at work. You tell yourself, I've blown it anyway, I might as well just restart next week. But the truth is, you don't need a new week every time you make a mistake. You wouldn't burn a steak and then throw away the whole fucking grill. You'd just change the heat and carry on. And it's exactly the same here. Progress doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from stacking up imperfect wins. 1 shift, 1 meal, 1 small step at a time. Because your life as a chef is never going to be clean and predictable. You already know that. You'll probably never have the routine of someone in a 9-to-5 office job. There'll be staff meals, pints after service, and 2 a.m. kebabs. But that's not failure, that's just real life. And the chefs who stay consistent aren't the ones who never fall off or never make a mistake. They're the ones who know how to bounce back from slip-ups and keep moving forward. Okay, lie number 4. I know what I should do, but I'm just not doing it. Again, this one sounds responsible, doesn't it? Like, I know I should train, eat better, sleep for longer. I just need to do it. But if that was true, you'd probably already be doing it. Another great example of this is my client Cam. He's got a background in powerlifting, so he knew everything he needed to know about how to train, how to eat right, how to bulk, how to cut, everything. But every time he tried to get back into some kind of routine with training and food, he'd last a few weeks and then drop off. Never able to gain the weight he wanted to gain, stuck at 63 kilos for months on end. And once he joined the program, the principles didn't really change. It was all very similar foundations to what he'd known, but the implementation did. Accountability and structure that was specific to what he needed is what changed the game. Because it's not knowledge, it's not information that you're missing. It's integrating the right knowledge and the right information in the right way that fits around your challenges. You already know the principles, but they just don't fit the way you live. You can't prep like a bodybuilder when your lunch break is a staff meal. You can't train 6 days a week when your energy's shot after a 12-hour shift. That's why you don't follow through. Not because you're lazy, but because you've never been shown how to make fitness work for hospitality. And that's the missing piece, a system built around your world. And that's why I coach the way I do, because chefs don't need more motivation. They need a plan that bends with their life instead of breaking under it. So if you've been telling yourself that you know what you need to do, but you're just not doing it, then maybe it's time to stop going it alone. And if you're thinking, yeah, maybe that is true, just hit the link below and we can have a chat about how I could help you